Good morning. Welcome to another Wine Steward video. One with a new background or foreground, I guess I should say. The store hasn't opened up yet, no staff is here, and so I can speak as loudly as I'd like in order for that phone to hear my voice and for you to therefore hear what I'm about to tell you. And what is pretty cool about this setting will be discussed in a minute, but in the meantime, let's announce what that bottle is all about. That is a bottle of Saint-Emilion Grand Cru from the right bank of Bordeaux, France. Bordeaux, easily one of France's two most famous wine regions, will be the highlight, will be the subject matter of our upcoming sit-down presentation style tasting/sales event. That happens 2 Wednesdays from now. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go check the calendar and then put this announcement up officially on a constant contact email that will reach everyone who receives our emails. At any rate, for 24 of you, we are going to finally, after many years of not doing so, present the subject of Bordeaux. Bordeaux in the form of 2 whites, perhaps 1 Sauterne, that's a dessert wine, and easily at least 9 reds, many of which I've already tasted and approved of, to tackle this subject called Bordeaux. There's a reason why we've laid off of this subject for so long. We can describe that later. We can tell you all about the challenges of selling Bordeaux nowadays. The good thing is there's a lot of Bordeaux you've never heard of that remains a fantastic value. And we intend to show you that kind of Bordeaux on that wonderful evening. So anticipate that email, sign up before we run out of seats. It's gonna be good. We'll even have real live people from Bordeaux here to help present their wines. That's pretty cool. So, Bordeaux event is on the way 2 Wednesdays from now, and I can now take down this prop. Man, this smells good. I walked in the store, the back door is 20 feet away, and took a sniff, and I thought, I think I can smell it tomorrow morning, and certainly 2 days from now, I will walk in that door, and this whole room will be fragrant based on what's happening in front of me. Let's, though, continue to delay the explanation of this with just the usual announcement that we have a freaking great wine bar menu in store for you up on our wine bar mezzanine. We launched it yesterday. Today being Friday means we are 1 day into this already, where we do an absolutely different wine bar menu every week, where you can taste wine by the glass. You can taste, more interesting to many of you, an entire flight of wines per a certain theme. Well, this time the red flight tackles wines that are fragrant. This is going to be a warmer weekend, an October weekend that hits probably the 90s here in our Livermore Valley. And so why not taste a bunch of reds that are a little more lighthearted? They're dry, but they have beautiful fruit, but they're not heavy duty, high alcohol, big, thick, rich wines. They are what I would call medium in body, but they are not medium in character. I'll just show you a couple of them really quickly, just to show you how different we are being this weekend. Hey, how about this? Stephen Mearsu would be very, very happy to see that the Wine Steward now has another Chinon on the shelf, an affordable one. This is only 22 bucks, and that's before your 10% wine club discount. Are you a wine club member? We'd love to have you aboard. This is Chinon, which means it comes from a place called Chinon in the Loire Valley of France. And it is good if you love cool weather style Cabernet Franc. 100% Cabernet Franc from a place called Chinon. It is eccentric and it is correct to place. It's up to you to decide whether or not it is for you. If you've ever visited a bistro in Paris and had a glass of red wine, it's quite possible that you tasted a Chinon like this, and that you've already adjusted to these interesting flavors of a mixture of fruit and bramble, let's call it that. At any rate, it's very exciting wine that is not necessarily huge in body, but it's big in character. We invite you to try it. Chinon, 100% Cabernet Franc from the Loire Valley. Here's another wine that we're gonna do on the flight. We're not gonna show them all to you this time, but just another example of a wine that might not be all that colorful in your glass, but wow, it's really fragrant. The glass that we're going to use for this flight is the big fat one, the so-called New World Pinot Noir glass, and it really exaggerates the fragrance of all of these wines, including this one. This is called Xina Movrot. Xina Movrot is the name of perhaps Greece's most important red grape. some people equate it with Nebbiolo as grown in Barolo in northwest Italy. But I prefer to say that Xenomavro is its own thing. But that said, it's fragrant, it's not big in color, it has high tannins, it's got beautiful fruit, and therefore it does in fact resemble a Nebbiolo from northwest Italy in a way. But let's just say this is Greece's best red wine varietal, and you're gonna try it. Xenomavro. It's very, very fun to try to say too, right? Don't say Xenomavro, but we'll know what you mean. It's kind of like the whole Vino Verde versus Vino Verde or Vino Verde, you know, we'll know what you mean. Just try to say it any way you want. All right, so that's the just a couple of reds that we're doing in the flight. I know this is I gotta get really low to be seen here and to show my monster here. What is a monster? At any rate, white flight, of course, we'll always have a white flight. This time it's just a bunch of whites that just showed up. Like I tasted them a week ago and I said, I gotta have these in the store, including this. This is a producer in South Australia called Best's. That's the name of the winery. They're one of the absolute oldest wineries in Australia. That's why the label looks kind of antique-y. They're in a wine region called Great Western. That's actually the name. It's not a hotel. This is Best's Riesling from Great Western. It is bone-dry Riesling. Don't run away. Don't be scared. This is brilliant wine that is part of the white flight that you're gonna like, I promise. This is one of the great Rieslings of the world. Mosel, Germany does not have a monopoly on great Riesling. Even though they make some of the best, you gotta look out for great Australian dry Riesling. All right, this is brilliant. Now, let's just show you one more wine on the wine bar flight really quickly. This is from a region in the Loire Valley of which I had never heard, because actually the name, and I don't know if it's even appearing, like if you can read it from there, because I certainly can't see you from here. Anyway, this is Sauvignon Blanc, not from Sancerre, not from Puy-Fumé, not from Quincy, not from Manitou-Salon. I'm just showing off my awareness of different place names that honor Sauvignon Blanc in the Loire Valley. This is from a new one called Chenonceaux, C-H-E-N-O-N-C-E-A-U-X. I think I got that right. You can correct me later if you need to. It's brilliant. This is grown in the region of Touraine, so a little farther west of where Sancerre is. It's Sauvignon Blanc with a little more flesh on its bones. That doesn't mean that it saw oak barrels. I don't think it did, but there's just a little more juicy fruit going on in the jowls. It's really delicious. We invite you to try an alternative to Sancerre. It's a little less steely, a little more yum. Oh, man, it's good. And exciting to try something new and to hear about a brand new region in France. Of course, they've been growing grapes there all along, but it's finally been recognized by the wine government as a designated region, Chenonceaux. All right, so give that a try. Now, let's very, very briefly show you this. And as soon as that appears, it will be gone. Like, we only got one case of arguably the greatest rosé ever made, Domaine Tempier, as imported by Kermit Lynch. This year, one case allocation. Is it even showing up for you? Certainly, even if it's kind of fuzzy, you recognize that iconic label, don't you? Domaine Tempier, rosé based on the grape Mourvedre, as grown down right on the Mediterranean. Beautiful stuff. And one case here, and some people have already noticed and grabbed some. So this is just your one announcement that you can obtain one of the great wines of the world that just happens to be pink. Now, finally, let's just show you a demonstration. And remember that the very first video that I did this year was actually from my backyard, because I couldn't walk into the store with that nasty thing called COVID. Yeah, on January 1st, I contracted that. And so on the second or third, feeling well enough to at least venture into the backyard, but not healthy enough to walk into the store, I went into the backyard and set this phone up on the tripod in front of a grapevine, a Grenache vine, which I think I named Henrietta. At any rate, there I was in front of a dormant grapevine. It had just been pruned. There were no leaves. This was, cold January, and of course the vine is sleeping at that point. Well, here's the product of that vine and many of its peers right here in front of you. Harvest has happened, this fermentation is starting, and what we're gonna do twice a day now is come to this mass of crushed grapes called must, is reintroduce the skins, which are floating up to the top here, to the juice, which is below. And I don't know how well this is gonna show up, but I'm gonna get my hands clean with some miracle solution here. And yes, I could use a punch, I could use this implement, but Adam Webb of Cochon Winery has taught me that if you have a half-ton bin fermentation going on, if it's this small, you can in fact be very familiar with how that fermentation is going by getting involved with your hands. And so we do a hand punch down with this particular wine. This is Syrah, Grenache, Maubeuge, and a little bit of Muscat. Let's do this. Very, very fragrant. Wow. Beautiful stuff. Hey, you guys over in Bordeaux, you probably see this going on where you are right now. We have a lot of friends on that river cruise in Bordeaux. Hello to you. Maybe if you're not too jet lagged, you can attend that Bordeaux event, which I think happens 2 days after you get back. At any rate, happy harvest from the Livermore Valley to you in Bordeaux, to you everywhere. And I got to figure out how to turn this phone off with these very, oh my Lord. This is like pancake syrup right now. It's really sweet and delicious. All that sugar is about to turn into alcohol. It's that miracle conversion. This is why I get personally involved with the wine. Have a great day, guys. Come see us. Bye-bye.